again, and they're just going to produce.
Right. Yeah.
It is 9:14. Drinking my healthy soda.
Noah.
Hello.
Hi, Sonora. With your mask on.
Oh. So I love it. I love that we got started. And I wonder if maybe, Jim, we should put that on the schedule to do maybe like a clinic, right? Like let's kind of dissect some things, maybe get some hot, a couple hot questions at the beginning and just dissect. For me, it always, and this is what's being taught to me, is like we have to start at what's happening at the list level, right? That if you're not starting with that conversation, then you can't problem solve from there, because there's no way to come into the middle of that conversation. Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, folks, everybody out there. I want to welcome you to another weekly episode, I guess, of As the Legal Shield Turns. And I am your weekly host, Joe Welch. I am the CMC here in Massachusetts, and I extend my love to all 4 states. So I want to welcome Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. It is such a delight. I think it's just invigorated us and added more energy. And I gotta be honest, I've met a bunch of amazing people in our area, and now I get to see them in my living room, which is such a delight. We meet here every single week. So folks who are popping in, who are checking things out, we are located on the Bay State Zoom LSA. Thank you so much. My partner in crime's already shared that and reposted. So the Bay State Zoom LSA Facebook page is available to everybody, and I'll be showing you a little of that information in a moment. We are also on the Legal Shield New England page, and that is also available on Facebook. And what it does is it just allows, us to maintain some communication. Bottom line is that we're coming together as an area, as a region to some extent, under, of course, the leadership of Jim Tanner. But also, I think that New England, as we know, is a very unique space. We're incredibly close, but also could feel very far apart. And the fact that we get to meet this way, I think, is only going to help us in terms of sharing resources, finding partnerships. This weekly meeting is not meant to replace your leadership meetings in your own team. So hopefully you know who your upline is, your executive directors, even what I call, what we call the families, right? The bigger teams. There's a lot of amazing leadership happening there. And if you're joining us, we're meant to just be a supplement. We are that extra roll maybe that you take with a little extra butter during dinner, or, however you might look at it. But what we're doing is we're just trying to keep our New England vibe going. I get the unbelievable honor to be a part of this with Jim Tanner. And we're just going to get started on some of our weekly, I don't know why shenanigans. I don't think this is a shenanigan. This is not a shenanigan. This is just our weekly business, really. I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. Oh, but I started in the wrong place. Uh-oh. Well, you guys have all seen this before. We're going to it'll be like super fast. Look how beautiful these are. Isn't that amazing?
We'll edit this out in post-production.
I got to tell you, so I got some headshots done a couple years ago. This is one of them, and I just love it. And I think it's just a really good note as we are business owners, are we in that business mindset, finding a shot, taking a shot that has a really lovely background, thinking about just doing something from the chest up. That's just a really great little tip to start to put yourself into that headspace. I look forward to us coming together. I love giving away headshots. So if we do come together, I'll bring my camera and help folks out, because I love it. This is our Northern for New England. It's just an info card, just reminding people, of the things where we can find information. We have Jim Tanner and my contact information here. We have the Legal Shield New England site, as well as our Facebook Bay State LSA page. It's a reminder of our 9:15 call that we do every single Thursday. And then there's just, the things that are coming up, and we're going to review that as we go through the links. As we always do, we start out with making a difference. And we know that is the first building block in our business. And the reason that's the building block, because especially when we have a process that's so simple. And we're reminded it's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But it is simple. When you come onto your team, you're looking to your upline, you're looking to your leadership to help you get to those first goals. And so what we have is people are brand new, as well as been in the business for even a minute, a day, or a week. And they're going out and they are, in fact, protecting at least one family. Now, as we learned last week, all we need is 2 to get that PC, protecting 2 families. So we know they're on their way. And so I just want to acknowledge Diane Campbell, Trudy Hightower, Lambert Karambundi, Bob Sheasley, Darcy Scher, Diangani Afo, Amanda Scott, Vincent Lido, Victor Chow, Eglatine Lamani, and I don't know how to pronounce the EP, so I hope I can meet them to know how to do that. Boudreaux, Fitzgerald and Joanne Sandheim, Nautilus Growth Partners, Cheryl Miller, EBS Insurance Brokers, Harry Withy, Daniel and Michelle True, Ernesto Pinder, Legrand Amasi, Laura Stubbs, Connie Ayat, Tina Colby, Muvumba Monique Mavindi, Marcel Milongo, La Sainte Shitabola, Lisa Day, Holly Lavaro, Bobby O'Connor, James Schwartz, Augustine Adu Doninia, Joseph Amakoa, Donald Ferreira, Brenda Lewis, for their amazing mad going on right here. You guys are mad. You've done it. You protected one family. Thank you so much. That's for January. What a fantastic list that is. We're on several slides. And actually, and I already told Jim that I was going to do this, I've removed those who are in PC because the list just keeps getting longer. We need to make more room and more slides. So we're going to move on to Performance Club. And as folks know, and this is, I think the simplicity of our business comes in this, that we are going to say the same message over and over again, because maybe you're not ready to hear it yet. Maybe you were ready to hear the MAD, but you're not ready to hear the PC. Maybe you're ready to hear the PC, and then you're going to want to know the next step. And so by doing this, fundamentally what we're doing is we're priming people to be open and ready. So if you've done that MAD, or if you're like just about to do that MAD, now if you protect 2 families, we are looking at certain numbers. So we're looking at $100 and above, or $200 and above. If you set that as not your goal, but your standard is that every month you always hit that $200 mark, then you're going to be able to start reaching this Performance Club. And the Performance Club comes with rewards. So I want to congratulate, and Jim, you will notice that I moved some of your slides around a little bit. I wanted to start with Diane Campbell. Can we just do a little, this is a deaf applause. Can we do a little shout out for Diane? Way to go, first month. We have Bobby O'Connor. All right, Bob Sheasley. We've got people. You can see in the 2s that they're starting to do the same thing again, right? We're seeing that continuity. And then we have Stan Snow at 4 months. Yes. And what our PC practice is now, that at 4 months, your PC bonus kicks in. And that's based on your percentages of maintaining your business, as well as your numbers. So that's so exciting. It means Stan is now eligible for that bonus. And if he does a 5th month and a 6th month and a 7th month, he will continue to get that bonus. It's very tasty. It's a very tasty thing to think about, to be like, I think I want that. I want a bonus. I want it month 5, 6, and 7. And I've been doing it. You're going to see here, we have Yvette Eldridge and myself at 26 months, Nola Fennessy, whose face I saw today. I'm so excited. Julie Gershon and Jim Tanner. Shout out to everybody. And it's only the 4th, which means there's a whole entire month ahead for you guys. And I got to be honest, I'm so proud of my team, and I'm watching and talking to different people on other teams, and you guys are working hard. I know you're looking for that. There is no one secret. That's not true. There is one not so secret. The secret to this business is that people need to see it. That's the secret. That's it. I told it. That's it. I can close off. All right. Goodbye, everybody. No, I'm kidding. But that's the secret, is if people are able to access it and they can see what it is that we have to offer, now the ball is in their court to be able to make a decision. Any answers before that point, they just don't count. If they haven't seen it, they don't know. They don't know what they're missing. This card here is a save the date. As you can see, Trudy, who pointed out that I had gotten a couple dates wrong, I have adjusted those. These are Super Saturdays, except for the one in October. It seems like we are building a tradition a January and an October rollout or national event, which I think is fantastic. They do such a great job. It usually comes with some leadership and usually lots of extra money, so I'm all for it. And then, so just this is a great way. We do have, as you can see, February 13th is our Super Saturday, which we'll be talking about in just a moment. Just on the local end, I have started a personal cybersecurity event. One of our new prospects is an identity theft specialist. We start off with some tips, some tricks. We look at reports, and then we go through the briefing, including the business plans, just very briefly, but really just giving people kind of the big picture about identity theft. So it starts with some helpful tips, especially if you're looking for those prospects to feel like they're getting something. There is just a little bit, there's some education, and then we go into how our services can change their lives. That's happening every Monday. On the 13th, which is the day before Valentine's Day, look at this. It's red. I love the hearts. It's all these, pink. We're going back to how does two-a-day prospecting make a six-figure lifestyle? And that's just, it's a great story to hear, because a lot of us don't have the time, aren't coming at this at full time. They're coming in at part-time, spare time, squeeze time, that time between putting the baby down and getting up to, to have a minute for yourself. And so we get to hear from Steve Hoisington out from the Pacific Northwest, and we get to hear his insight and his story to get that six-figure income. Right. And this Super Saturday is going to start with you're going to notice it starts at 1 o'clock. And I want, Jim, can you confirm, are we going to have an open house as usual because it looks a little shorter time-wise? So are we doing that a briefing at the beginning?
Yes, sorry. Yes, we are doing that.
So I like this approach. So there are some people in our lives where just taking them to a briefing is not enough. It feels like it doesn't give them a big enough slice of the pie. And by bringing them to a Super Saturday, no one's going to kick them off. So if they come on and they're interested in seeing what we have to offer, not only is our service great, but it is a great time to be able to demonstrate if they want. And it's really interesting. I've had that moment where I brought somebody to a Super Saturday, assumed they were going to leave at that, once it was done. And then they were like, well, what's going on? I said, well, there's a training. And they're like, well, can I stay? And I'm like, well, sure, why not? And then they ended up signing up because they loved the vibe. They love, and so especially if you have someone who's making that decision, all you did was just start to train them early, fundamentally. Right. So, keep that in mind. This is a short one. So we have an open house, we have a training, and that's good. That means lickety split, you guys can go back to making your dinners and dipping your strawberries in chocolate and getting ready for some romance. And as you may notice, this is also building incrementally. So we look at the work that we're doing within ourselves, within our teams. We look at the events that are happening on the calendar in the weekly way and like some sort of open house or briefing. We look at our monthly Super Saturdays. That's just that great reminder that we should be telling all of our new associates, hey, we have events that are happening. We have something that's weekly we want to bring people to. We have a monthly event, so just put that in once a month. And now we have something that happens every 6 months, which is our conferences. And we are moving forward and going to Missouri. And then I think I heard word, I don't know if it's official, but they might be looking into some sort of hybrid model. So whatever might come to be, the one thing we can do is we can look back at Legal Shield and say, they do take care of us. If it's not safe, it won't happen. If it is going to go through, they're going to figure it out. So all those doubts are the things that are holding you back from buying the ticket. I'm just going to say the conferences are amazing. There's leadership, there's product information. And even if it's on Zoom, you can always find a way to make it fun with your team. Maybe everybody's in the same shirt, or you can do something that kind of builds community in that way. And it's just ridiculous. It really is. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in my partner in crime, my millionaire mentor, my friend, and yours, Mr. Jim Tanner. Let's see.
I'm still here. Hello.
I'm going to add.
I had to mute myself because Adam Thompson called while you were speaking, and I didn't want to be rude, but I wasn't sure how pressing it was going to be. So
Is he okay?
He's fine. Yeah. Business question. I am so excited to be here this evening. Joe, let me brag about Joe for a second. You all know I do this because she won't do it about herself. So if anyone watching here live with us, anybody watching in the Facebook group, I know a few of you are, I've been monitoring that. Anybody catching the replay, like the time shift, the kids used to call it, right? We're here live now, but you might be watching this where you're live now, but we're no longer live now.
We
But hopefully we're still
live.
alive now,
We are
which
live.
would be different. Yeah, we'll be alive because we're basically immortal at this point.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to say about Joe. If you need somebody to help you communicate in American Sign Language, in Spanish, and even she helps me to communicate in English because nobody knows what I'm talking about. She is your bridge to help make that possible. And we're just so appreciative of what you do. And listen, you had signed on to help our Massachusetts associates, and when we expanded to include the larger family in the northern New England area, you said, "Hey, listen, I'm still in," right? So I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely.
And I'll say one other thing about Joe Welch. We spend time every week together. We try for an hour. It's not always an hour, but it's usually close to that if possible. And over the last several months, I've noticed something, Joe, and maybe you've noticed this too. I started out talking a lot, and you were listening a lot and writing a lot. And now we've reversed it. Now I ask you questions so that I can get you to talk a lot because I want to hear what you have to say and what you have to think as you've been going on this incredible journey as a senior director and continuing to build your Legal Shield business and your Legal Shield story. So congratulations to you for all that you do for all of us.
Thank you.
We're going to do a little back and forth again this evening. Is that right?
That's right.
Let me just say something that was on my heart. Before we got officially started here this evening, there was some discussion about getting, how do you get associates started? And I promise we'll do this more formally. But it made me think while you were sharing those incredible results from January, it made me think of something that Darnell Self once said to me. He and I were talking, I believe we were in Iceland, and we were talking about leadership. And he gave me this piece of advice that I've been using ever since. And here's essentially what he said. He said, communicate with your team in a way that is so consistent that if they've been around for even a few weeks, they will know what you're going to say before you even say it. In other words, it's important that we don't confuse our team. Of course, we don't always, glom on to the most recent, exciting, system of the day, but be consistent and consistent and consistent. And I had to think about that when I got that advice from him. And I said to myself, what is that one thing I want to communicate to my team so crystal clear that they don't have to wonder what I'm going to say, and they can kind of roll their eyes, hopefully, behind my back or on the phone so I don't see it. And they'll just say, I knew he was going to say that. And that was a couple of years ago now. And here's what I have done. I've made sure that at the center of everything we talk about, at the center of everything we train on, at the center of everything we do, our North Star in our team is this incredible service that we market. So when people say, well, how do I go about constructing my list or going back and adding to my list? My answer is always, when was the last time you used your membership? What is your most recent membership story? How do you feel about your Legal Shield membership? When people say, I'm talking to people, but they just don't seem to be interested, what would you say to a realtor or an insurance agent or a teacher or a mom or a dad? I say, when was the last time you used your membership? Tell me a story about how you've recently used your plan. How do you feel about that interaction? When people say to me, how do I get to executive director? How do I get the 6-figure ring? Well, they know what I'm going to say. I say, tell me a story about how you've used your membership. Tell me a story about how it made you feel to be empowered, to know what your rights were, to be able to just tap that app and know that everything's going to be okay. Because at the center of everything we do is the fact that Legal Shield is a real company with an incredible value proposition. We take hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of legal services, and we just shrink it down to $24.95 a month for an entire family. That's what we do. But often, especially when we're new, or maybe when we're acting with urgency at the end of a month, we've all been guilty of this, we blow past that realization, that truth that we know, that the membership is our North Star. And we start focusing on tactics. procedures, overcoming objections, secret weapons. What does someone know that I don't know? What does somebody have access to that I don't have access to? When ultimately the shortcut is the people that love their membership the most, have used their membership the most, respect what it does for themselves, and would tell people about it for free. Well, those are the people having the most success at Legal Shield. And that's what I attempt on a daily basis to communicate to the world at large, to every person I interact with, and of course, to every member of my team. So I ask all of you to reflect on that this evening. We're going to talk about a lot of things this evening, but reflect on that. When was the last time you used your Legal Shield membership? How did that make you feel? Did it make you feel empowered? Did it feel good? Even if the advice you got was not what you wanted to hear, doesn't it feel good to know that there's not going to be a bill coming on that? Listen, I've gotten some really, really simple things resolved with my Legal Shield membership, and some really complicated things resolved. My Legal Shield membership has saved me a few $100s, and my Legal Shield membership has saved me tens of thousands of dollars. Now, I don't expect everybody watching the Zoom tonight or having just joined the company to have 2 decades of experience being a member. Of course not. Most of you are just discovering it now. But you have to have your experience, tell your Legal Shield story, know your Legal Shield story. And Joe and everybody, consider this. When we recruit new people and they're excited, they probably live in a home with people that didn't see what they saw, so they don't feel what they feel. They might have a spouse or family members that are neutral, hopefully at least, but maybe even negative. But what if, instead of focusing on how much money we could make, and by the way, we can make a lot of money. What if instead of focusing on how we can fire our boss and change our whole lives, and by the way, we can fire our boss and change our whole lives. What if instead of focusing on that for just the first few minutes, we got rock solid on the fact that what we do matters, is noble and important, and will literally change the lives of the people that we put this membership in front of. Get this on their phone, get this in their heads, in their hearts, teach them how to use it, teach them how to extract far more value from it than they will ever pay for it. Well, that's the beginning of building a legacy. And so I wanted to say that because you got me fired up. You guys started talking about how to get a new associate started. That's the only way to get a new associate started, because we don't need to sell the sizzle because we've got the steak. We don't need to talk fast about what it is and hope they don't realize what it isn't, because it is so real, so valuable, and stands so tall and proud. We are Legal Shield. And the sooner our associates realize that, the further back their shoulders will go, the further out their chests go, the further up their chins go, and they're part of the army of providing equal access to justice to North American families. And that is why I get up every morning. How about you, Joe? I'm fired up.
I can feel it. I'm super fired up too. I think about this phrase, which is, and I've shared this before, is that I have to get used to that, and I think that a lot of us, that's one of the barriers, right? Like, I have to get used to that. Like, you have to believe, and this is where for me, it keeps coming back to it. Like, how do you feel about yourself? I have to believe that I'm worth that expert. And I think that's a barrier, right? Like, that's where people get caught up. But if you use it and get past that first call, and then the attorney calls you back and you have that conversation, and then you start to normalize it. Then you're like, yep, this is what my life looks like. What my life looks like is that when things come into my world that I don't understand, I have an expert who's going to look it over. And it took me a while. I had to get used to that. And then I showed it to someone else, and they were talking about an issue. And I said, don't you have Legal Shield? They're like, yeah. I said, well, why don't you call them? They called them. We followed up, just checking in. And they're like, yeah, I have to get used to that. I'm like, yes, you have. That's the thing. And we are in a world right now where so many people are they're used to the other. They're used to not having expert advice, having to, what the irony of this idea of picking yourself up by your bootstraps is actually an impossible task. You cannot lift yourself up by your bootstraps. That's the irony of the statement, right? If you're pulling and you're standing on solid ground, there's nowhere to go. And so this concept that we're supposed to be meeting, but really at its core, is that I pay for this service. the way this service is successful is because you also pay for the service, and you pay for the service, and you pay for the service. And we use our collective buying power, because that's smart. That's a smart thing to do. Right. And then, but we let people convince us otherwise, even though in your heart, you know, you're right. You know why you signed up. You know why you signed up. Now you just have to get used to this. And I think that that's the similar phrase for like a lot of the other stuff. When you start to build teams and not become their manager and instead become their leader, you're going to have to get used to that. And then when you start making money that is paying you, like I got, I don't know, $20 today, I think today, and 20 something dollars yesterday. And at first I'm like, you know, like, where did that come from? You know, just because I'm still newish in the trajectory, right? Figuring out how money's being paid. And I'm like, oh my God, that's residual income. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And I was just like, and I mean, it's $20, right? But I have to get used to that. I have to, and that idea of shift means that you're at, and this is also actually, I don't know if we're going to lead into the activity I had talked about. Is that cool? So I'm going to take this a little bit. We're going to shift into this, the framework, right, of who we were to who we're going to be. And this may seem like a stretch, but this is where my brain went. So we're shifting ourselves. We're changing. We are business people. Right. And a lot of folks come into this and it's just brought into your life in such a relaxed way that maybe you're not looking at yourself as a business person. Right. I started today talking about the headshot, and I saw Nola's compliment. Thank you so much. One of the ways that I didn't know how to fit in. So I brought a camera, and then I took a whole bunch of shots of New England people. This is 5 years ago, and took some really amazing headshots of folks over some time. And I thank you so much. I'm so glad. You know what? It's time for me to retake that. But the place I'm going to go into, and hang on one second, I'm removing spotlights and I'm bringing us all into the gallery view. Let's see. Everybody should be able to see each other. And so the place that I'm transitioning is again about who we are and how we talk to people, right? Like the things we need to get used to. And some of it is, we are meeting other business people, and sometimes we don't know how to approach them. We don't know what that networking moment looks like, right? As you guys are all leaders and doing amazing things, I know that Jim and I are always looking for someone to maybe do a testimonial in this meeting, or have a moment to share a story. And so what I wanted to do is this task that I do with my team, which I love a lot. And it's a game. To some extent, it's a game. And it's also about starting to change the way we think and the way we talk about in certain environments, right? So in this call, we are all business people. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to play this activity, which is called, it's a 30-second activity. So the goal is that I'm going to have somebody in the audience who's going to be a timekeeper. And what I'd like you to do is introduce yourself, say the state that you're from, something you're grateful for. So I'm actually going to take it away from the legal shield, because I think that's where we all get caught up. But right now, something you're grateful for, and it's going to end with your favorite flavor of ice cream. But I want those things in 30 seconds. And so you might be like, why are we doing this, Joe? And we're doing it for a couple reasons. One is we have to get used to this. We have to, if we're going to be engaging with other businesses, whether it's on the B2B side, whether you're at a networking event, whether you're talking to somebody, how do we have that conversation? Sometimes we don't know what to do with all the awesome that is our service. And we're just like, oh, and then left and right and so, this, and oh, there's so much to share. But really, what we need to get used to is, how do we find a nugget? And so I start with the moment of gratitude. I do this in my team meetings when we come together for leadership. And so in 30 seconds, someone's going to be a timekeeper. And then you're just going to say your name. You're going to say your state, because we're in 4 states. And then I just want a moment of gratitude, and then your favorite flavor ice cream. I will give you a heads up that whoever's a timekeeper gets to stop people. So you can be like, stop. You put your hand up and they have to stop cold in their tracks. I find it to be a lot of fun. I don't know why. And I don't always make it to 30 seconds. And so you'll see there's some people who'll say everything in 10 seconds, or you'll say everything in 45 seconds, but you'll be cut off at 30. So I will ask, who will be my timekeeper today? And I will voluntold. I have no shame. Thank you, Nola, for being my timekeeper. So can everybody see Nola? Most importantly, you're going to see her when you make your introduction. So who is willing to go first? Everyone's looking away. Oh, no, you'll go first. So if you go first, Connie, will you watch her 30 seconds? Sure. All right. So Nola, your name, your state, a moment of gratitude, and then your favorite flavor ice cream. And no cheating. You cannot have your own timer. So don't be looking at another clock. That's not going to happen. And Nola, let me see if I can hear you. Speak for me.
Hello, hello.
All right. And then I'm just going to keep us in this mode so that no one has to feel like we're like calling you out, but everyone is going to do this. So just be prepared. So Connie, you're going to let Nola when to start. Tell Nola when to start.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nola Fennessy from Maine. I'm grateful for my 2 amazingly awesome children. My favorite ice cream flavor is peanut butter chocolate. And I have extra time, so I want to confess that I kept having to put my video on mute because I had just been chowing on popcorn, probably still in my teeth.
He's still only at 20 seconds. Good job.
So, right. And this is a great way to start to measure because it does mean, and she, this was a great example. She said her stuff, right? She said what she was supposed to say, and then she still had a little bit of time and that still would have been under 30 seconds, right? So that's pretty cool. So, all right, who is next? All right, Trudy, you're going to voice for yourself? You're good?
I'm going to speak for myself.
Okay, and so Nola, you're now the timekeeper.
Thumbs up to start.
Start.
My name is Trudy Hightower. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm grateful to be an infant teacher because by the end of the day, I can get the parent their happy children back. My favorite ice cream is coffee ice cream.
16 seconds to spare.
Right. So again, we're starting to, and especially if we do this, it's quick. I love it because it allows us to get to know people a little bit. And then again, you can start working on that 30 seconds and you start to, feel how much information can I put in that amount of time, right? Who's next? Hi, Connie Archer. I see you coming in. All right. Sanura.
Okay, can you guys hear me? You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Sonora Dancer. I am from the wonderful state of Colorado, and I am grateful for waking up every day to be able to open my eyes, and I am an agent of change. And my favorite ice cream, one of them is bubblegum ice cream and pistachio. So those are a lot of my favorite things that I love, and I'm so happy to be here today with everyone. And as you can hear, there's a lot of noise and I'm outside, but I'm so grateful that I'm actually here to be able to spend time with my Legal Show family.
Excellent. All right, who's
I
next?
feel like that was at bowling. Were you bowling, Sonora?
The husband is bowling in a tournament, and I'm here for support.
Look at that commitment to your business.
And I was doing a networking event earlier today, and I was talking with people, and there's going to be people here that I don't know, so I'm going to talk to them too.
Thank you. Perfect. Who is next? And while someone's raising their hand, I see Lisa Day. I'm just will somebody else also, Lisa, do you mind explaining to Connie Archer? And I know that there are people who are not able to play along today. You're going to probably be seeing this in the future times. And so know that you can also practice. And I love just this kind of connection. So Lisa, do you mind explaining to Constance Archer what our task is right now?
So we are stating our name, our state, what we are grateful for, and our favorite flavor of ice cream.
And Nola is our timekeeper. She's going to give a thumbs up when she's ready to go.
Okay, thank you. So I am Lisa Day from the state of Maine. Grateful for my 4 children and 4 grandchildren. And I think I have many flavors of ice cream, but I think pistachio is one of them, and maple walnut, anything with nuts, pretty much. So
Excellent. How much time was that?
That was like, sorry, 12 seconds.
it's okay. Okay.
We have to get used to that, right?
Yeah.
And then the thing is that the moment of gratitude is a great way to start because you can keep it. But then we're gonna graduate to, well, what happens if we say this about Legal Shield, right? What happens if we say this about, like, what do you say in 30 seconds about Legal Shield? All right, who is next? All right, sir, how you doing? I cannot hear you.
My name is Robert.
Hi, Robert. Are you able to turn your volume up a little bit? I don't know if that's feasible. I think as long as you just speak firmly, if you don't mind, then I think we should be all right. If not, I'll help our friends out because we do have some folks who are using captions and sign language interpreters. So.
Okay. Let me see. I just lost you all. I lost you all here, but.
We can see you, so just in case, don't make any sudden moves.
Right. Okay. How the heck do I get back here? Video conference. Yeah. Wait a minute. Why don't you go to somebody else?
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute you as well. So are you on a Mac? Robert, are you on a Mac?
No.
Okay.
PC. No, PC.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know any clues for PCs, but if someone can help him, it sounds like he lost the visuals, so you can text him in the
Oh, here we are. I'm back.
Cool. It's all you.
I am back.
And Nola will give you the thumbs up to start.
Nope. All right. Okay, my name is Robert Ziegler, and I'm from Vermont, and I am appreciative of getting together with my wife this evening to do a 15-minute writing exercise, which we pick a subject the night before. This night was a very simple tickets. So we wrote 15 minutes about tickets. And what else? My favorite ice cream is fudge swirl, vanilla fudge swirl.
Whoop.
That's it.
Right there, 30 seconds on the nose. Very good. I love it. And I'm also very fascinated. We have a lot of different flavors of ice cream. So I'm really curious about that. I loved bubble gum when I was younger. Well, you'll find out in a minute. All right, who is ready to go? Jim, are you ready to go?
I can go, and if anything, to get me to stop talking. Is it my turn? I don't see Nola. Hang on a second.
She's there.
I'm here.
Oh, why did you move? I know you think that I know how technology works, but if you've been on this for more than 2 weeks, you know I don't. There you are. I see you now. My name is Jim Tanner.
Wait, she's got to let you go.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Go
I'll
ahead.
just get excited. My name is Jim Tanner, and I'm from Massachusetts. And what am I grateful for? Well, right now, I've just recently discovered hot tea at night, which I lived my whole life without. Can you imagine that? I love coffee, but I didn't want to drink coffee at night and stay up all night. And my wife turned me on to hot tea. And so now I have that every evening. And I love maple creamies because I'm from Vermont. The rest of you New Englanders should love maple creamies as well. What's wrong with you all? Thank you. What is that, digital? Look at you.
So are maple creamies a flavor of ice cream?
It is the Vermont state bird. It's an ice cream. It's a soft serve ice cream that tastes like maple.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the bomb. It's the bomb, Jim.
We're gonna have to do a field trip. I think we'll do field trips to different states.
Field trip. Everybody stay at my house in Vermont.
There you
Bring
go.
a sleeping bag.
All right, who has not gone yet? I need to see some hands. All right, Miss Constant Archer, are you with us? 30 seconds, your name, your state, something you're grateful for, and your favorite flavor ice cream.
My name is Constance Archer. I am in the great state of New York now on Lake Ontario. I am grateful for my family, for my children, and that I am going to be a great grandma. in July. I'm like really excited. My favorite ice cream is chocolate peanut butter, but actually I'll take any old kind that you might have around. I'm not really that fussy about it. And today's my birthday. I keep singing all day. Nice to see you, Robert. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday. We're just at 30 seconds, 28. All right. We've got a couple people left. Michael, I see you there. I think it's you. Oh, Amanda, are you ready to go? You good, Amanda? Ready? If you don't mind, we're going to have Amanda and then Michael. I'm going to have to do, okay, so I'm going to voice. Hang on one second. Just fix it so I can see her. All right. So go ahead, Amanda. Yep, we're ready to go. Hi there. My name is Amanda, and I'm from Massachusetts. And I am very grateful for my children. I have a 17-year-old and a 16 and a 15-year-old, and I'm in a safe place right now, and they are too. And my favorite ice cream is Snickers. Snickers ice cream. But it's, I'm into plain vanilla right now. So some of that was also the interpreter being behind. I think like it was plain vanilla. You're like into plain. Oh, my favorite flavor is Snickers, but today I had plain vanilla. Got it. All right, Michael, are you ready to join us?
Can everybody hear me? Because I'm having serious technical difficulties. Okay, I can't hear anybody, so right now I'm thankful that I can read what everybody's saying. I'm about as rural as it gets in Connecticut, and the internet isn't what it should be in this day and age. I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for my family and that I'm able to spend so much more time with them now. We've bought better coffee. We've bought better pillows. We've expanded our yard. We've cut trails for the boys to ride their bicycles in the woods. And my favorite ice cream is coffee espresso bean. And I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Excellent. Amy, are you joining us to do one as well?
All right, and I can hear everybody again. My internet's back.
You are so dark, I cannot see you at all. Will you be voicing for yourself, or do you need me to voice for you? So again, I will be in the role of the interpreter. Hello, my name is Amy Mahoney, and I am from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. My favorite ice cream is coffee ice cream. And I feel very blessed that I have my family and such an awesome team that has been pushing me forward, and we've been working together to my goal of director. And I love all that continued support. All right.
That was 23 seconds.
And I think I'm last.
No,
Right?
I haven't gone yet.
Ooh, oh, Miss, you go first then.
Ready, Nola?
Yep.
I can go fast. Connie Ayotte from the great state of Maine, originally from Vermont. So that's why I get so excited about Jim's things. I'm grateful for my health. Had some health issues last year, so I'm back to exercising and Zumba, which I'm so excited. And my favorite ice cream is butter pecan.
That was 19 seconds.
So I am going to wrap. I'm going to be, yeah, you have more to say. So I am going to wrap this one up. And so let me go ahead and start. Nola, tell me when. Hi, my name is Jeanette Ocampo Welch, and they call me Joe. I'm from the amazing state of Massachusetts, but actually born in New York and raised in Miami. So I'm kind of like Pan Am on the Eastern Seaboard. The thing I'm grateful for is actually all of you. Each one of you allows me to come into your life for a few minutes and bring some of my ideas and some coaching, and you let me start a conversation so that we can go somewhere together. And that is such an amazing honor. And I just wanted to thank you all for that. My favorite flavor is ice cream is chocolate everything. So
That was exactly 30.
perfect, right on the nose. Boop. So I want to thank you guys. And Jim, do we have anything else to close out? Because we are done with our 30-second. We have to get used to this. Yeah, we.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I want to kind of reiterate the power of that. We need more people telling their Legal Shield stories in all of these Zoom presentations that are going on across the United States and Canada all day, every day. What adds flavor to that is what lets Legal Shield leap off of the slide and become real in the minds of the prospect is when you tell your story. And one of the great skills of being able to tell a Legal Shield story is to be brief. So this is the first of those building blocks to be able to tell a concise story, because as Joe was saying, you can plug your Legal Shield testimonial about the membership, testimonials about leveling up in the compensation plan, all of these great things that happen in your life. But once you get the sense of the rhythm of what is 30 seconds, what is 60 seconds, because Joe and I, we talked about this early on. Sometimes you're called upon to be the main event. Sometimes you're called upon to be an accent upon whoever the speaker is. And you have to be able to know what is expected of you in those roles. And we want to teach everybody how to communicate this incredible Legal Shield membership and opportunity, and to, again, make it real for the people that are learning about it for the very first time.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, it's our story. It needs to be told. And, just in this experience alone, and I know that the folks at home who are going to watch us later didn't get a chance to get to know us in this way, but they heard all your stories. And, there's so much that we learned. There's a lot of family here. There's a lot of generational families here. There is a very wide berth of ice cream flavors, like just that alone. Like I've done this project, I do this with some frequency, and it's usually a lot of chocolate and vanilla. And I was just impressed with how wide of a spread of vanilla, of chocolate, of ice cream flavors this is. And this is also a reminder that this is what we're learning how to listen. So when you're meeting your prospect, when you're talking to your associate, the goal again is not about what they're going to do for us, but it is what we're going to do for them. And if we were to have, let's say, a Northeast, a Northern for New England event, I would say we should have a Sunday bar, for example, but then I'd be like, we should probably have a wide variety of ice cream, because coincidentally, this group happens to love a wide variety. You know what I mean? Like there's so much in that. And so again, I am honestly, earnestly grateful for your time, for coming, Jim, for leadership, and for also allowing me to share a little bit about different ways that we can get used to it. Jim, do you want to do some the final thoughts?
Oh, how do you add to, first of all, my favorite way that we come together is collaborative like this. When we open up the lines, this is my favorite thing. Over the years, I've moved from, at the conventions, from the back of the convention center. I don't know, many of you knew, maybe you don't know this, but they used to seat us at the conventions by accomplishment. So if you'd show up at the convention and you're brand new associate, like I was at my first convention, well, you couldn't get any further back in the Cox Convention Center in Oklahoma City than I sat. But I could see the front row. I could see where the Millionaire Club members sat. I could see them. And I yelled and I cheered, even though they couldn't hear me from back there. To be able to visualize that journey from the back of the room to the front of the room, that Legal Shield story can be told for every one of us. Yes, now I sit in those seats, and yet I started at the very back of the convention center. When I went to my first team event, I sat in the back row and I buried my head in my notebook. I took tons of notes, pages and pages of notes from millionaire club members that were willing to spend the day pouring in to all of us that so desperately just wanted to know, what are the secrets of this business? And I've made my way to the front of those rooms all over the country. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast, but to show you what's possible. Many of you know I used to deliver furniture for a living. I was, and still am, an introvert. I didn't have anything to offer, or so I thought. But this incredible company, founded by Harlan Stonecipher, became the vehicle to allow me to serve others, to be, as Sonora Danzler said, and I'm so excited, an agent of change in the lives of other people. Now, that is only the beginning of the story. I am a total failure in Legal Shield if I don't empower you to be agents of change in the lives of more people, if we don't exponentially change lives with Legal Shield as the vehicle, both our membership and our opportunity. And so on this evening, where so many people, maybe for the first time, and maybe because you just weren't expecting what you're getting into tonight, found yourself standing up and speaking out. If it is your first time, let it be part of your story. It's your first time, but don't let it be your last. Let it be the beginning of a story of how you are an agent of change in other people's lives by telling your Legal Shield story, by telling your truth, so that other people can see their story blossom because of it. Let collaborative nights like this awaken the potential inside of each and every one of us, so that we can go out and empower other people to realize their potential. What we do today matters and is important and will certainly change our lives individually, but the great story of what we do here today is going to be told generations to come. Think about how we speak with such reverence about Harlan Stonecipher, Ken Moore, Dave Savula, all of the people who've come before us, Wilburn Smith, and obviously, if I keep saying, if I keep making a list, I'm going to leave people off. Think about how we speak in hushed tones about those people who pioneered this business when it was far harder than we could ever imagine it being. And they did it for us. Maybe they didn't even know who we would be, but they knew that we would be here if they did it well. Let us have that be the example. It is our turn to protect this brand and this company, this idea, this notion of equal access to justice. And it's our turn to protect it and grow it, and to also craft the next generation, recruit them, train them, motivate them, inspire them, and shape them so that they can take it forward when we're too tired, when we're too old, when we're enjoying the fruits of our labor, or in fact, when we're no longer here anymore. That's part of what we do. Harlan started it. It started by accident. It started from need and not from greed. And it doesn't end with us. We are, in fact, just getting started. We are, in fact, just scratching the surface of what needs to be done, what will be done, and the stories that will be told. And you all mean the world to me. Thank you for being soldiers in this mission and moving us all forward one day at a time. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. That was amazing, Jim. You always move me.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Safe. Aim for those PC. Michael, I'm looking at you.